Hello, my name is Lewis Lee from All Ends Magazine, and we are here playing in traffic tonight. And we're going to kick off some stuff with Dan and Lou. Go ahead and introduce yourself, guys.
Hi,
first, Lou.
Lou Santiago, host of Car Fix on Velocity.
And I'm Dan Brockett, professional drifter and SEMA guy, apparently.
Yeah, SEMA guy. That's what Joe said. He goes, "Oh yeah, he's from SEMA." I was like, "Okay." He told me you wanted to jump in tonight, so I didn't have a chance to research it.
Yeah. So I've done some viral videos on YouTube, and I do demos out front. And I was the guy sliding around the police Mustang and some of the Roush Mustangs.
Okay.
In front of SEMA, if anybody was out there. And
yeah,
then,
I saw you in my travels. Going from one to the other. All you see is like the car sliding around as it goes.
Yep.
Cool.
Like, oh, there's that guy, whoever that is.
Exactly.
He's having a good time.
Yeah, I met you last year at the Anderson Estate booth.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
There he is. Joe? Speak of the devil.
What's up?
There he is.
What's up, fellas? How y'all doing?
Oh, man.
Pretty good.
I'll get that light out of the way.
So, Dan, how long have you been drifting for?
This will be my 8th season. So,
okay.
Kind of dabbled in autocross and road racing and time attack, and then took a ride with somebody 8 years ago, and I was hooked. Sold my Subaru STI and got a truck trailer and a drift car.
Wow.
Yep.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, it was like a week. It took me a week to sell everything and buy stuff. So it was that much of a life-changing event, I guess.
Well, it's funny because 4 years ago, I think it was, we did an episode of Car Fix at SEMA, and we shot some stuff with Discount Tire, and they had Dai Yoshihara there.
Mm-hmm.
And, the only thing I know about drifting is that you guys slide around the track sideways. And I'm not going to lie about it. That's all I know. I don't know.
You have to imagine it as all the fun stuff you like to do in a car, like say it snows and you get a little sideways and oh my god.
Yeah. But it was,
get your adrenaline going and
does.
Blood pumping.
Really
and it's the fun stuff while driving a car every time.
Yeah. It's the stuff you can't do anywhere else but on a track. But the thing that was neat about it was we actually got to ride with Dai.
Oh, it's great.
And the thing that just blew me away more than anything else was how casual he was while he was driving. It was like he just turn the wheel, grab the brake, shift the car.
Like going to get groceries, just
exactly, man. That was the craziest thing. And the thing is from watching him, I know it's not just him. I mean, I'm sure all of you guys drive like that because it's become second nature. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So listen, I want to jump in on that. Those guys are so coordinated. I'm standing there watching them this year at SEMA, last year too. Yeah. And it's amazing how they can have two cars with two different people driving and working the track next to each other. It's amazing to me.
Yeah.
And it's a little bit easier when you have a defined course, and what Turk and Gittin were doing is a little bit more difficult because you have no idea where the guy's going to go since it's a demo. Like with a set course, you know where he's going to be, but what those guys are doing is all freestyle. So whoever was following had the tough job of kind of anticipating where the other guy was going to go based off what the car is doing.
Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah, none of the runs were planned. I was watching all of them, and they would go and they would be different every single time. So I was just paying attention and just kind of understanding what the car is going to do by looking at it.
Holy,
it's crazy,
man! That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
That's nuts. I would have never known that.
Yeah, it's interesting to actually kind of get an inside view of that stuff. Everybody likes to watch it. I mean, obviously, car commercials all have drifting in them. Like it's.
Right.
People want to see it, but you never actually understand what goes on while you're actually doing it with another car. So it's interesting to hear that, I guess.
Now,
it's art, I have to say.
It is art. Do you do commercials too?
I have done a few, yeah.
Okay.
Tons and tons of video work. I've done some stunt driving in some movies and a few TV shows and stuff like that. So it's a lot different, totally different than doing demos and actual competitive drifting, though.
Oh, is it?
Oh yeah.
Wow. Because I would have figured that there's a pretty hefty demand for commercials and movies and all that.
Yeah, especially out here in Albuquerque, we have a pretty large film industry.
Really?
So yeah, it's really weird. There's a lot of tax incentives that the state gives to people, and it's actually cheaper for California companies to come out here than it is to film in California. So a lot of them do, and then they hire people like me. I'm not union, so they get me for a lot cheaper, and so
nice.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
This is your Mustang you're running?
That's one of the ones I drove in a video. That's the old, I believe it was a 69, maybe a 67.
What is it, Lou?
67.
That's 67. Boom.
It's either a 6 or a 7.
Yeah, it made 450 something horsepower, but it was carbureted. So anytime you would really be on it and sideways, it would butter out.
Yeah. It was fun because all the gas was sloshed over to the side. Yeah. So
yeah, and then one of the other Mustangs we had is an Armageddon powered 1500 horsepower Mustang that we flog around in a video too, and that one was pretty nuts.
Yeah, I could see that.
Fast car.
Yeah.
It sheared the lug nuts off on one of the runs, and we lost a wheel, and it happens.
It's all good video.
Yeah, it makes for good content.
That crazy all-wheel drive one. Who's the guy?
That's Ken Block.
Yeah, that was built here in North Carolina.
Yeah, that's right. That's ASD, right?
I think it was. Yeah, I met one of the guys that worked there at the time.
I think his name's Ian. Ian's the guy that runs that, I believe. Yeah, good dudes. They make some crazy stuff.
I heard they moved to California.
They may have. I mean, that's where pretty much everything is if you're going to do that. They were ex-NASCAR guys, so that's why they stayed in North Carolina.
Yep.
Got you.
So it makes sense.
Yeah. Well, there's so much as far as parts go. The parts infrastructure here because of NASCAR is ridiculous.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's a phone call and you can have it in like an hour and they'll deliver. It's freaking bananas, man. I mean, like, you don't think of it, but you need a dry sump oil pan and the whole dry sump system. You call CV Products. Oh yeah, we got it on the shelf, and and it materializes at your door. You know what I mean? It's nuts.
Yeah, for me out here in Albuquerque, it's like, that's going to be a week and a half till I get anything.
It's crazy, man. It's really there's a lot of stuff here because of NASCAR. So yeah, it's pretty cool. That's
awesome.
I will say
that's super awesome.
And it works out really good because you've got there was a Formula One team here. I heard that Jerry Haas, the CNC guy, he's doing a Formula One team and it's going to be here I heard now. So you got that, and then you've got Greg Anderson, the Summit Superstock car.
Yep.
His operation is I'm going to kill my dog. His operation is here. So you've got some drag racing, but the bulk of it is NASCAR. And I don't know if he's still here, but I know Robbie Gordon was here, and he had all of his off-road stuff here, all of his Baja stuff. I know because he was running NASCAR a few years ago, and I heard.
Yeah, that's right.
And I remember seeing a bunch of his trucks one time. I was going somewhere, and they had them all putting them in the hall or going somewhere. So I know he was here for a while. I don't know for sure if he still is, but he was here. So there's a lot of stuff here, man.
Yeah, there is. It's crazy. I mean, just like being in California too. It's like everything is there. It's just like, wow, God. Just across the street from Falcon is Hankook, and like, all right, well, okay.
Yeah. Right. I need tires. I'm gonna go.
Must be nice.
So Dan, what kind of video projects you got happening?
Nothing super going on at the moment. We just released Drift 4. That was the one with the Mustang that you showed up on the screen earlier. It's 13 minutes of craziness.
Shut my dog up.
All right.
So yeah, it's the fourth one in the series that we've done. I think view-wise, we're right behind Ken Block. I mean, of course, his videos are epically awesome, and they get tons and tons of views. But in the drifting world, we're right there underneath it. We do it a little different. Our videos have stupid plot, and his are all driving, and ours are some plot with driving and really horrible acting.
Right. Now, did you do a video with 2 motorcycles?
Yep, that's the series.
Oh, dude. Now it's clicking now because I seen that one of my buddies showed me this because he's doing a video for fishing, and he was like, "Man, I just seen this drifting video. Let me show you." So he showed me, and you were the police officer, right?
Yeah, that's me. I'm Officer Dan.
Oh man, that's a sweet video, bro. We were really checking it out, and we were stealing ideas. Like we're gonna have the drone following, and
Perfect.
yeah. So we're stealing some stuff off you, bro.
Awesome,
Hey,
man.
If you can put the link in the chat room, and so people can go check it out. Lou, it's a pretty sweet video, man. They're like 2 motorcycles, and he's in a police car, and he's chasing them through like the canyons and stuff. It's pretty slick.
That's crazy.
We're trying to get Ray in. His not connected in. Hey Ray, try refreshing your browser.
Yeah, we'll give Dan a bunch of props, being that he actually has a real job.
Yeah, right. He's doing his thing.
I'm trying, man. I'll send the playlist, so if people want to watch all of them,
yeah, man, that's cool.
Yeah.
I'd like to watch them too. Come on, Ray, get in here.
There we go.
So if everybody can tweet a little bird on your left-hand side, let all your Twitter followers know that we're on here chatting. It'd be cool.
Oh yeah, let me do that.
Yeah,
I just posted it on Facebook. So
all right, great. We have 13 people in the chat room now.
Yeah, I got to do a tweet too. Let me do that. Well, take care of business.
I don't know. Ray's showing a black screen. I don't know.
He's having trouble.
Yeah.
He's having trouble. I don't know what he's got going on there.
So you got any drift things coming up soon?
Right now is off season. I didn't quite get a budget together this season to do the Pro Series, so I might just run a couple of Pro-Am events this season, have some more fun. Mm-hmm. Pro's really, really expensive for a privateer, so of course we're going to film some videos. I have my own series that we do for all the videos that we do, and you can check it out. It's on that same YouTube channel playlist place. It's called the Whiskey Garage Chronicles, and if you want to see what it's like to be a privateer in a pro racing series, that's a pretty good look at it.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, man. You guys are doing some great videos. This is sweet.
Thanks, man. Yeah, we try.
Yeah. I mean, and me and my buddy, he's a computer geek and cameras. He's building drones and everything, So we're looking at the video and not really paying attention to the video. We're looking at like the filming part of it.
Yeah.
You guys did some great shots. I mean, it's really impressive.
Production value is super high. I think that video, it cost Icon somewhere around $40,000, so it wasn't that much to produce such an epic video. It's just they had the good direction, they had the creative team behind it, and all the guys that came and filmed were in-house from Icon, motorcycle apparel company.
Yeah.
So they didn't hire anybody. The only people that were external were me and the drone guy. So I think it's because they had complete creative control over it. That's why it ended up being such an awesome project.
Yeah.
They
weren't allowed to touch it.
They had control. Oh yeah.
Because we've had some other projects that we've done where it's a battle of power between 2 sponsors that want this or don't want this. Hey, you made it.
Ray. We can see you.
Yeah, can you hear me?
And we can hear you too.
We can hear you, Ray.
All right, good. Just checking, man. This is the first time I'm doing this.
Welcome to the internet.
What are you doing, man?
I like your shirt.
You like that?
Look at that. Representing Uniondale. All right. Very good.
Hey, Ray, tell us who you are and what you do.
Ray Guarino, co-host of Motormouth Radio. There's the banner.
Motormouth.
And, we talk about all things automotive. Never really drifting, but that's a cool subject. That's something that's I'm probably past the prime to be doing that myself. Usually,
never.
when I'm getting around a track, it's uncontrolled or it's off the Southern State Parkway or something. Hey, but
the Southern State Parkway's got some pretty decent turns. It's just a little bumpy.
yeah, absolutely. So, so it's a pleasure to be here. And Lou, I got to tell you, I don't know if you heard about on the 9th, there was a thing out in Florida. See this this tanker, this container ship?
Yeah.
It dumped 25 containers of Cafe Bustelo all over the beach.
What the hell? Where was I? I just got done with my cup.
Right now.
Free coffee on the beach.
There you go.
They're vacuum packed. They'll be okay. You can still
That'd be fine,
Yeah.
It's better than oil spilling.
Yeah, really. No kidding. Anything's better than a damn oil spill, man.
Hey, I want to give some props to my son. He wasn't feeling good tonight. He's usually running this show and keeping us on track. So, little Lewis, I hope you feel better.
Well,
I like to kick it out to him.
We're screwed because I'm telling you right now, we're going to wander off the range.
Real quick.
Jesus. Okay, so so I want to get into drifting, right? What do I do, Dan? How do I get there?
It's really easy and it's cheap. I think the only thing that may be cheaper than that would be going to an autocross with whatever car you had.
Mm-hmm.
So to start, you need a rear-wheel drive car. Doesn't matter really what it is. And you lock the diff somehow. So you take it out and you weld it if it's an open diff, or you put an LSD in it. And that's pretty much all you need to do to get started. As long as both of the wheels are spinning all the time, then you can go drifting. If you're super low horsepower, like when I started with that car that I bought that I told you about earlier, I think we dynoed it. It made 94 horsepower. I mean, there's lawnmowers with more horsepower than that.
Right.
So there's a lot of tricks to make a low horsepower car drift. So pumping the tires up. So we would air the tires up to like 70 PSI. It adds horsepower. So it makes you wheels spin easier. And
Right.
you can space your steering rack out with washers to get more steering angle.
Right.
So there's a couple of very small things that you can do, and then you just go have fun at a local event. And God, there's events all over the country, and they're usually $50-$60 to go drive all day.
Wow. That's
I didn't know
cool.
It is. There's a lot of organizations, and then you can start there, have fun, have a blast, go out. And the cool thing about 70 horsepower or 90 horsepower cars, you never go through tires, really. You spend all day on like 4 sets of tires. The more horsepower you have, the more expensive everything gets. That's for sure. Because then you got to burn wide tires, and then those tires are $280 a piece.
Right.
And it's just like, oh my goodness. It escalates quickly. But yeah, you just go out there and learn. Most of the guys that run local events at tracks all around the country are super into having new people come out and try stuff, and they're very keen to ride with you and give you pointers, and it's not as easy as it looks.
No, I know it's not.
Like when you're riding with Di, it's like, oh wow, that looks really easy.
Yeah,
And then you get into the car and you're like, why can't I do this?
Yeah.
I think what's cool about that is when the manual brakes, manual handbrakes.
Yeah, that we all have. Well, I mean, if you want to get into competitive drifting, it's just a hydraulic e-brake, and a lot of the times you just tap into your rear brakes and go. But at the pro level, you have to have a full separate set of calipers to actually to go. It has to be a separate system, so it's just a hydro e-brake that controls a separate set of calipers.
Oh wow. I didn't know that.
So
when you tap into your rear brakes, when you pull, you kind of lose your front brakes. So you don't have any more front brake anymore. So if you're left foot braking and you grab your e-brake, then it doesn't work. So that's why they make us have a separate system.
Whole new system. Huh?
I didn't know that it had to be a whole separate system. Wow.
But you don't need any of that to start. Basically, any rear wheel drive car, old RX-7s, Nissans, Toyotas. Anything that drives the rear wheels, and you can go have a blast.
Chevy Suburban.
I mean, you could. If
I wonder
there's
why.
guys that come out in trucks and Tundras. There's a guy in Phoenix that drifts in a Tundra, and so it's
That's
pretty
pretty
cool.
cool, man. I'm gonna have to check that.
And there's a minivan out in Phoenix too, an old I think they're Previas.
Well, the Preview is going to be. I think that's front wheel drive. That's Toyota. So I think that was front wheel drive.
There's one minivan that was rear wheel drive, and I'm not exactly sure which one it is. But he drifts out in Arizona, goes to all the events. It's fully caged, and
That's cool.
he put a V8 in the back of it, and yeah, it's great.
Well, the reason why I was asking is because January 4th I start teaching. I'm going to be I'm teaching a hot rod and fabrication class, hot rod building at the local community college in Central Piedmont out of Charlotte. And I'm going to be looking for projects, man.
It's an easy project, and it'll give you the most bang for the buck. That's for sure.
I think you should build one for a magazine.
There you go.
Yeah, I mean, I can, it'd be one of those things. I can do a sponsorship deal and do something. That'd be, because you got to do cool stuff, man. What's the sense in teaching this shit if you're not gonna do cool stuff?
Oh man, people love that because they get a ride, and oh man, especially if they get to drive. That makes all the difference.
Yeah. That'd be yeah.
Make them sign a waiver though, because if they kill themselves, they'll be looking at you a little.
and most events when you go to them, they'll have a skid pad, so just a big concrete area where the new guys can go out and just learn how to do donuts and figure eights. That's how you start. Once you've mastered donuts and figure eights, then you can move on to the track and do what you need to do. It's all basically just an extended figure eight.
Right. Oh yeah, I'm thinking drift car, guys. I think
that's a great idea.
I'm thinking drift cars.
Right.
That's good.
Hey Lou, we got a question for you in the chat room.
What's up? I got a 67 Le Mans that needs help. Well, yeah. Well, what kind of help? I need a little more than that.
I can lead you down a mean rabbit hole.
Yeah, no kidding. Like the one we did on Muscle Car, it's actually easier for me to tell you what we left on the car than what we replaced. We literally left the B pillars, the roof, and half of the firewall. Everything else.
Roof is good. Roof is good.
Yeah. Yep. It says all help.
I'm in the test driving portion of a 65 GTO project right now.
Who you are?
Yeah, my car.
Oh, the one on the site in the driveway?
Yeah.
That car sits way too high, Ray. You need to lower that car.
You just dropped another inch in your nose.
Yeah. I got a nosebleed looking at that car. Okay. If I was there in person, I probably would have got dizzy from the altitude.
Yeah. That's not the gasser though.
Monster trucks.
Well, you can get everything for those cars. Pontiacs were always one of the bastard childs. Back growing up, they were always one of the bastard childs. Now you can get everything you need, anything you want.
They become popular.
Yeah,
they really have. So I mean, that's what it is.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm going to jump out and let somebody else jump in my seat for a few minutes, and they can ask some questions or whatever.
Yeah, let's get
All right.
Let's get Lily on here with that 67 Le Mans. Let's find out what's going on. Come on, Lily. Let's get her on. Lil Millie, the pizza.
Little Millie.
The pizza. Get on here. Come on. Here we go. Let's see if we can't get her on here. Get on here. Let's talk about. See if we had Junior on here. Here we come. If we had Junior on here, he'd keep us going while I'm trying to type. Here we go. Ah, there you go. So what's the deal with this Le Mans?
Man, I got a 1967 Le Mans I picked up, and it sat for about 25 years in a guy's driveway. It's left it uncovered, and I took it to a guy, and he did a couple things. He got it running. So it starts and runs now. But the trunk is rotted out, you know, and he's that. The driver's floor is rusted out. But it's a matching numbers car, 326.
Yeah.
And I just wasn't sure. I never did a car project. So I wasn't sure if I wanted to mess with it or just dump it. Or it's a pretty nice car, though.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, the rust is just like on the bottom corners of the door. I guess from what I understand, it's just a typical places where they do rust, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
It seems like the interior has no holes, no rust. I mean, no rips or anything. So I don't know. I'm trying to figure out what I want to do.
Well, you can. They don't sell a complete floor pan for those cars. They actually sell halves. I mean, if it was some of the more popular cars like a Nomad or a 57 Chevy, you could buy a complete one-piece floor pan. Because I've done one in a Nomad with Jared. So you can get two halves, and the trunk was two halves, but there was a piece we had to fabricate. I think it was the piece that went up to the kick-up, because you have the trunk, and then it goes up, and then it goes right under the package tray. That piece where it goes up, I think, was the piece they didn't make. But it's not a big deal because it's like 6-8 inches tall. So that would be nothing to do. And then as far as the engine goes, if you wanted to do something cool with the engine, Eagle makes a stroker kit for the Pontiacs.
Yeah.
All of the Pontiac blocks physically are the same dimensions. It's internally where they're different. You could, and I know you can do this because you did it. You can take the big block Pontiac stroker kit, put it in that 326. You got to do some reliefs on the block so it all clears, and you got to use the Pontiac heads because nobody makes a 326 aftermarket head, but you hog them out, it'll come out to 377 cubic inches, and it's got an ass load of torque. Nice. It would be fun.
You know, Lou, there's another little-known stroker kit out there, and it's a guy out west made a 383 kit for Pontiac 350, just like a Chevy. Yeah.
Who's that?
You know, I don't have the name committed. I have it on the computer somewhere. But
what the hell, Ray? What the hell, Ray?
Yeah, 383.
383. Oh man.
So, what was the name of that kit you said I could put in that 326 the way it is now?
It's Eagle.
I'm taking notes.
They and the kit the kit you want to buy is they do when it comes with the crank, the rods, the pistons, the rings, the bearings, and I want to say it was like it was like $650.
That's cheap.
It wasn't ridiculously expensive. It really wasn't. Well, because what they do is they use big block Chevy rods in it. They use big block Chevy rods with a piston that works. That way, you're not spending a bunch of money doing a Pontiac only rod. You know what I mean? And then it makes a ton of torque. And then you just keep your Pontiac block. You know, but you're gonna have to buy a harmonic balance, but it's for a big block Chevy, that's not a deal killer. And then you got to get it's internally balanced, but you use I think we did a stick in ours. So I think we just used a regular 326. I think it was a 326 flywheel, but we balanced it, I think, if I remember correctly. We had it balanced to match everything, which you got to do anyway. So it worked out really well. Yeah.
I know a guy, he's got a 454. It's got low miles, like 60,000 miles. He wants like $500 for it. I was thinking about snatching that and dropping it in there.
Well, it'll bolt right in.
That's probably a 455 you're talking about.
Yeah, and it'd be a 450. Yeah,
well, it's in a Suburban. I don't know.
It's in a Suburban and it's a 454.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Because the Pontiac was 455.
Okay.
Yeah. But if you do that stroke, actually, if you wanted to keep it all Pontiac, I would look for a 400 because they're more plentiful, and it would be cheaper than doing a Pontiac 455. and you can still do the stroker kit, and you get 472 cubes out of the same stroker kit in the 400 block.
That's right.
Yeah,
That sounds like fun.
and that one, and with the 400, you can get aftermarket heads,
No problem.
so you can really make it breathe, and then you're golden.
But
Right.
don't forget, once you cut out that crusty floor and the trunk, you got to do all the brakes, all the suspension. I mean, all the infrastructure's got to be done first. Get a good look at that chassis before you
Yeah.
start out making power. You got to do all that, all the grunt work.
Yeah,
I did all the brakes. I had all the brakes done all the way around. But I think where I messed up is I didn't go to disc. I left it drum.
Yeah.
I'm probably going to have to at least go to disc in the front.
Right?
Right?
Ames, they're out of Pennsylvania, I think it is.
No,
Hey,
they're in. That's
what
right
are
by
you
all
at?
my coach. You think I know?
See, that's old and retarded right there.
Thank you. You're right.
But it's Ames, AMES. They sell Pontiac stuff. That's who we went through to get all of our Pontiac parts, and they got the disc brake conversion. And actually, you would use your same spindle. There's a boss that holds
Okay.
that on the top. You got to machine about a half inch off the boss, and then
Right.
the bracket bolts right on. Yeah. Or
Yeah, I think I was really just surprised that the doggone car started. I mean, that 25
Yeah.
years it sat. And he got that thing to run, man. I was really surprised. I drove it home. I couldn't believe it.
that's when they make
Yeah.
real cars, man.
I could-
That's why. They
Yeah.
the other.
All right, guys. I appreciate
All
your
right, no
advice.
problem, man. All right.
You guys.
Yeah, that's beyond my territory. I had nothing to give to that conversation. Like, yeah, that right there. That's perfect. That sounds
Yeah,
absolutely spot on.
Sounds good.
You should definitely listen to him.
Hey, that's one of my dudes, Angel from Youngstown. He's from my hometown. He's a big dog around here. He has some nice motorcycles and stuff. Good dude.
Right on.
Nice.
I would do another Pontiac, man. I mean, I'd make one. What I would do is build me a nice driver out of one. Do it like a pro touring thing, dude. They're roomy. They're cooler looking than a Chevelle in most cases when done right. Yeah, they're cool. I'd do another one.
Right.
I don't, man. If Junior was here, we could post a picture because I don't know how to post a picture.
Well, I was just going to ask you, how can I do that? Because I was going to send you a couple pictures.
Dude, you're asking the wrong guy. I have no idea.
Yeah, right.
See,
We're lucky we're even on point right now.
yeah, we're still talking about cars.
Yeah.
We can wander so far off the reservation, it's not even funny, man. I have no idea.
Yeah.
You've heard our radio show, right? I mean, you know how we do that.
You need to get Dan on your radio show, man.
I'm into it.
Yeah.
You need to
Absolutely.
get Dan on there. That'd be pretty
Sure.
cool. They do the Nassau Community College out in Long Island, right?
Yeah.
That's where I met Ray and them. I grew up there. I grew up walking distance from the Coliseum. It's like 5 miles. Back then, you got no car, you got to walk. But they do a radio show out of there, and he sent me an email on, was it LinkedIn?
Yeah, LinkedIn.
It was on LinkedIn, and so I went on there. And it's just out of control. Before we knew it, an hour was gone.
Oh, yeah.
Like, oh, man.
I was like, where'd it go? And then I called up the other day. Some guy answers. I'm like, hey, you tell the guys to call me. And they're like, who is this? I'm like, it's Lou. Yeah, okay, buddy. Just tell them to call me. They know who I am, damn it.
I never got the message.
See? It's out of control.
That's awesome.
So Ray, tell us about you do wiring and stuff. I heard.
Well, yeah. I've always been into, I've worked in auto electric. I used to rebuild alternator starters, carburetors, and then electric kind of was a side thing of mine. Went to school, got a degree. My first degree is in electronics, and it's something that I dabble with. You live with stuff like this.
Okay.
See, screw that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
When you work with that, Lou, you got to take something.
that
like
mumbo
this.
jumbo.
You got kids, so you go and you steal all their colored pencils. Of course, you put them in a Yankees glass. And
You
you
knew
and
that
you
was coming.
yeah, because that's the thing. The schematic is the roadmap. That's the actual roadmap of the circuitry. And I read some of the things from your past callers, and people get confused, and rightfully so. But you have to learn how to read that schematic. And electrical stuff isn't for everybody. There's a whole nother set. There's a whole nother set of tools that you need. I got a lot of them sitting here if we get to it. There's a lot of books though too. We've had this authors on the show. You get a book like this out of Cartech. You can do automotive wiring. Tony Candela, he's out at CE Auto Electric out in Arizona. Real high-end stuff, Pro Street stuff, real show car kind of wiring.
Right.
But the idea is most guys do wiring. They think they're doing it right, and they just do it very sloppy. You got to be neat. You got to be fastidious. It's like a military thing. Everything has got to be on point.
I can't spell fastidious. How can I be fastidious?
Yeah, right.
You can try.
Hey Dan, you need to pay attention here because you might have to do some wiring while you're drifting.
Oh man.
Oh yeah.
I don't recommend drifting and wiring at the same time.
At the same time, I'll electrocute myself and then run into a wall.
Well, it's 12 volts. So
great.
you're not going to get hurt.
This
It's a little thing.
Yeah, this is thing.
Yeah.
No, I've done some wiring, and every time I do wiring, my battery dies. It's weird.
Hey, at least you're not setting shit on fire, man.
No, I haven't got to that point. It never even gets
I've
there.
gotten
It
there.
kills everything before I get a chance.
You got to learn to use one of these.
Yeah, it's got a lot of settings on it.
Yeah.
What's that?
It has a lot of settings, and
has
I don't
a
know
lot
what
of
any of those settings are.
This one actually does something cool. You can actually take this one, the head off, and
Oh,
What
Have
the
this
hell?
yeah, you can connect this to the front of the car, and then you can walk to the back of the car with the head.
yeah, my Walmart one doesn't do that.
So
No.
Yeah.
well, that's what I'm saying. Like anything else, if you're doing metal work, you have to invest in the metal tools and the welders. You're going to do
Cool,
electrical.
dude.
You have to have meters. You have to have, another set. The hand tools aren't too expensive. Some of them get a little particular. Like for instance, you want to crimp. You can crimp connectors with a pair of tools.
Oh, those are the good ones. I got some of them.
Yeah, these are excellent. But
Yeah,
if
I
you want to
got
make really good crimps, you got to get something like this.
Oh,
Yeah.
man, that thing looks serious.
It's
That's the
ratcheting.
ratcheting one.
Yeah. This is made by Excel, and it'll do all your barrel connectors. Plus, you can change the jaws, and you can do spark plug wires with this too. So you can make
Oh,
spark plug wires.
Oh yeah.
And if you get your finger in there when you ratchet this closed, forget it. Your finger's gone.
You don't have to worry about it anymore, right?
Lost it.
No. So again, Lou, this is something like a guy like you or a guy like me actually needs to teach to students. Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you. We had when I was in the Navy, we had a guy that I was stationed with. He was actually an instructor at one of the schools, and he taught electrical.
Right.
I didn't learn it then, and I was actually stationed. His name was John Eder, and he was good at it. I mean, really good. It doesn't make any sense to me. I've tried to learn it. I don't get it. Everyone says, "Oh, it's just like hydraulics." No, it's not, because I know hydraulics. I mean, I know hydraulics. It doesn't make any sense to me. I can't figure it out.
Yeah. Well, you have to know something called Ohm's law, which is just the basics of how voltage.
Well, that's the problem. I'm busy breaking the law, so why would I want to know?
That's the thing, man. When you're locked up
Thug life.
on that bench, you got nothing else to do. Take out the book. And there's a whole section in there on Ohm's law. It's
See?
simple math.
Hey Ray, we got a
Go.
question for you in the sidebar. Do you do exotic cars? Because my man Ray out of Canada, he's into exotics.
I'll tell you this. If you can wire a Pinto, you can wire a Pantera, you can wire a, what else?
Pantera's not exotic. It's a Ford.
Yeah. The Kia, right? Whatever. Wiring, it applies. It's like doing plumbing. If you can do plumbing in your house, you can do plumbing in a building. You can do, there's similarities. You can do it pretty much anywhere.
There you go, Ray. You got a wiring guy.
But it's not. But it's not for the casual guy to get into. If you don't feel comfortable with it, then bring it to somebody, because you can burn your car down. You really can. Yeah.
Know all about that.
We've seen it. Then you need a fire extinguisher.
It sounds like Lou's caught a couple things on fire.
Yeah.
I know all about that one.
There's something a lot of people don't understand. People make a lot of rookie mistakes, even guys who kind of know what they're doing, and they use the wrong wire for a given circuit. And I'm going to show you. I was doing battery cables. There you go.
See, look, it's on fire.
Probably a loose wire in the back.
Yeah, that's where all that smoke's coming from.
But see, that's all the stuff that I truly don't understand. I mean, like the wire and how to make. I don't know. I just don't know.
Well, you can learn it. The thing is, we're dealing with stranded wire in a car. You never use solid wire. That's for house. That's for house wiring. And stranded wire. I mean, there's a whole science behind this. You can make a college dissertation on it, but to figure out resistance in a bundle of wire, something like this. This is like a battery cable wire. You take each strand and you take
Roman cable.
You take these are the battery cables in my Pontiac, Lou. Because bigger is better where battery cables are concerned. And you actually take the cross-sectional area of each strand of wire, and it adds to all the other strands. Yeah, and then you get the total. But it's not going to show on the camera. This is a high-performance cable, and I don't know if you can see. This is like a brush. That's how many strands of wire in here. There's probably, I'd say, 6 to 8 times the amount of strands in this than there are in this.
Jesus.
And the one you get, and this one, you could actually, look at this. You could just bend it. See how flexible that is?
Yeah.
You get this is a little less. The stuff you get from the auto parts store, the battery cables you buy there's maybe, I don't know, 20, 25 strands in there.
Yeah, it's really rigid too. Yeah.
And it doesn't conduct as well. But something that people always forget, we got a tech guru advisor on our show, Joe D. He's on Man in the Clouds. He works at Standard Motors. And he always says his favorite saying is, what part of a good ground don't you understand? So I found something from Standard Motors from my local auto parts store. And here they go. They sell these little ground straps. It's just a
Oh, yeah, I remember those.
Right? Put these everywhere. I mean, you gotta people put the power to something, but they don't necessarily look to see that the system is grounded correctly. You have to have ground loops. So like the inside of your car, if you grounded everything to your dashboard, but if your dashboard isn't grounded to the floor and the floor isn't grounded to the chassis, and the electrical system isn't grounded to the chassis, you have fragmented ground loops. You want everything to connect together. So again, it's like good practice, and people need to learn this stuff if they're going to do it, because more guys do it wrong than right, and it's sad to see because it's not really that hard.
Yeah, I can see where you're going with that. I played. Wait a minute, hold on. I got something going on in another computer. Yeah, I've wired a couple things and smelled smoke and figured I should get out of the car pretty quick. So I can see why, you just got to drop it off somewhere and let somebody else do it.
This is the kind of thing. I get friends call me and they say, can you help me out with some wiring? Like, yeah, what do you got? Guys giving me guitars, amplifiers, jukeboxes. And I'll tell you something. If you can do it with one thing, you can do it with another. It's just a matter of optimizing the system, finding the correct components for that job, and then following good practices with good soldering. Guys think they know how to solder, and oftentimes they don't, because the biggest trick is they heat the wires, they melt the solder, and then they take the gun away. Got to hold that gun for another 2 seconds to make sure that solder flows, and then you want to use something like this. You want to always have a nice set of heat shrink tubing, because you want to insulate it, and then you want to use a heat gun, something like this, a little hair dryer.
That looks like something from Star Trek.
That's where I got it from. When I was doing a Star Trek movie, I just walked off the set with this.
You were the guy in the red uniform, weren't you?
Yeah. I was the guy from New York, Lou. I was stealing everything. Give me it. But, And there's shops around. What you got to do is if you go to some of the restoration shops, you can ask them, because restoration guys typically, like Lou, just like you're saying, don't really do wiring. They're really not that, they don't. But they'll probably know a guy who does. And it's like anything else. It's not usually cheap, but you get what you pay for.
Oh,
you get what you pay for. You wouldn't skimp on building that on the stroker motor for your car. You wouldn't skimp on that. But guys will wire it like with lamp cord.
I've seen that.
I have it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
No joke.
I've seen that.
Yeah, I have too, man. I've seen some stuff hanging out from under a dashboard. Like,
Yeah.
man, what are you doing?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I've seen.
When we built my first Pro-Am car, we took all the wiring harness out and had to rebuild one, and it ended up costing me like $2,800.
Yeah.
But it shaved, I think, 52 pounds off the car.
Oh, yeah.
Just in
Wiring.
wiring harness alone.
One of the heaviest components in a modern car is the wiring. If you put it all together.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Wow, I never knew that.
Oh, absolutely.
So it saved a lot of weight. It was expensive, but it cleans everything up. And then when you need to take it off or take it out of the car, then
Right.
you can. It's real easy.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely one of the most worthwhile things that I did.
Yeah.
Because then that 90 horsepower became good.
Yeah, exactly. Put it all down.
You guys had a guy, Michael Durand, who wrote in a while ago. He had a 79 Trans Am, and he had a whole bunch of dashboard problems. He had shorts. He was beeping the horn, and lights were going off, and all sorts of crazy stuff. That's one of the hardest things to track down, but you do it systematically. And let's just go to the end. If you can't fix it, let's just say it's too bastardized. Somebody really screwed the pooch.
Right.
Companies like Painless Performance or Ron Francis Wiring, and there's others too. They'll sell you wiring harnesses, and they're not cheap. I mean, a good dash harness is going to be $500-$600 for a.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But you
Yeah,
start
I used American Auto Wire in the Camaro I got in the shop.
right.
Yeah, I used that one.
But you're starting from scratch. Everything is labeled. Everything is a correct gauge. The right terminations, the right ends. And as long as you don't make it worse by doing something stupid, you're going to be in good shape.
I say I used American Auto Wire. Let me rephrase that. I purchased.
That's okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
You see, Lou, that's one of the things that Chris and I talk about on the radio show all the time. People look to us for advice, and we say, listen, we don't know everything, but we know where to get it, and I know who to call. And that's,
Right.
And that's part of the whole deal,
Yeah.
That's what I want to tell people too, Lou. If people missed on it, if they go to our site, motormouthradio.com, on the download page, October 15th, they can hear the show that you were on. I think people would be interested. Your fans would be interested in hearing you playing with the home crowd.
Oh yeah. Well, dude, I mean, hold on. I'm actually typing a message to the Falcon guy looking for some parts.
Okay.
I just told him to jump in the open seat.
Yeah.
See if he does it. He said he's got a Falcon wagon. Here he comes.
Nice.
And he does T-shirts, clearly. He's a silk screen guy. Dan, do you need T-shirts?
Hey, me too.
You do T-shirts too?
I do.
Awesome. I got to get some made.
Me too.
How we doing?
I'm hanging in there, man. How you doing?
Good.
So what's your name, silk screen guy?
Tim.
Tim. So
Hey, Tim.
that's Dan. I'm Lou, and that's
Hi.
Ray.
How
Ray
you
does a
doing?
radio show. Dan's a drifter, and I do cars.
I do T-shirts, and I'm a hack on cars.
So you got a '63 Falcon wagon,
61.
'61 Falcon wagon, and you need a gas tank.
Yeah, the gas tank. It was sitting in a field for years. It rotted out. It was leaking real bad. I'm trying to find a replacement for that. When I took the gas tank out, I started to work on the leaf springs.
Right.
They were all shot and rotted, and I couldn't get the front eye bolts out, so I cut them out, not knowing that it was going to be impossible to find leaf spring bolts for it. I got the leaf springs rebuilt. I got the new bolts, the back bolts. Came in fine. I could find those, but the front leaf spring bolts are such an odd shape and an odd size. They're just impossible to find. Everybody I call, ask, they just basically laugh at me. And
You know what size they are?
6.5 inch long. They start off 9/16 wide. They go through the frame, then they kind of cut down to 7/16. and that's where they start to be threaded.
It's like a shoulder bolt. It's a big
Yeah.
That's what I was
Yeah,
gonna say,
yeah.
shoulder bolt.
But finding any parts for the car from the front door back is damn near impossible.
Can you bore that hole out to 9/16 instead of leaving it 7/16?
That's what I was looking to do, because I could find a 9/16. I didn't know if I should make like a 9/16, like almost on all thread, and then just basically.
No, don't use all thread, because all thread is typically like grade 2, maybe grade 5. You can use grade 8. I've used grade 8 bolts on that before, and you could get a shoulder bolt made out of a grade 8 bolt like that if there's a machine shop around.
Okay.
But if you can that one where it goes through and becomes 7/16, if you can bore that out to 9/16, it'd just be a matter of getting a drill and drilling it out. If you can get a drill in there,
yeah,
you can do that. Just remember to use a nylock on the nut and do a wash, and then you should be fine. But if you can't make the hole bigger, find a machine shop, and a guy can do it on a lathe. You'd have to cut it down, and then he can do it on a lathe. Just remember to leave yourself enough room, because you're going to need a washer on there. You're going to need a pretty decent washer so you can distribute the load, and then use a nylock.
Cool. Yeah,
That's what I would do.
I was going to try to do that, or there's a couple machine shops around here. The one guy, he's from Youngstown. I live in Warren, right down the road from him. I was going to get with him. He does car. I was to see if he had any recommendations on any machine shops around here to use. I have some buddies, but like I said, no professional machine shop that I know of. So,
man, I would try the 9/16 first.
Okay.
There's another alternative. You can always back half that car.
I was just going to say, yeah.
Yeah, but that thing, like I said, from the front door back is impossible to find parts for. I guess from what I was told, they only made a limited number of the 2-door Falcons, wagons, and anything has just been either real expensive or really hard to find. It's a cool car, but it's just a little pricey at times.
Probably 20 years ago now, I did a 63 Falcon 2-door Falcon wagon, and I pro-streeted it with a set of Mickey Thompson 19.5. The total rear end length was 37 inches long. The total rear end.
It's a fun car. Like I said, it's a cruising car. It's definitely not a drifter. I mean, it's fun.
Made into one.
It is rear-wheel drive. That's what I was thinking the whole time. He said, "Oh, he needs a rear-wheel drive."
Got
car.
the potential.
Most definitely. But I appreciate it, and like I said, that's probably what I'll try to do. Like I said, I'm going to try to get with the machine shop or drill it out. That's what I was thinking about doing, is drilling it out to.
Yeah, if you can get a drill in there and you can drill it out, that's what, because the only I mean, it's just it goes through the frame. It's a subframe car.
Yeah.
And it's only going to be like 1/8 inch metal. I mean, it's not going to be heavy. And then just get some decent washes on there.
Okay. And
you should be fine, man. If not, hey, bring it to the house. We'll cut it up and really stuff.
Heck yeah. Cool. Well, I appreciate it, guys. Thank you very much.
No problem, man.
All right.
No problem at all. See, I'm not scared to cut something up. That's not an issue.
No, me neither.
Hey, I'm in Youngstown and I need a lot of T-shirts made, so I'll be getting in touch with you, Artistic.
There you go.
We always need some shirts.
I gotta get some more made. I got some really cool artwork I gotta get done. Matter of fact, I'll share.
Hey, anybody?
I'm gonna do like Ray. In
the chat room want to jump in? You can jump in a seat for a few minutes. I'm gonna jump out and see if anybody wants to jump in.
Let me see here. I got some cool artwork. This is what I got. Let's see if I can show you guys.
School bus.
What happens on the bus stays on the bus.
At least it's a short bus.
Nice.
Oh, that's perfect.
I'm not politically correct.
Nothing wrong with that.
Hey, you got to do something to keep everybody out. If you act like everybody else, man, it's not fun.
No. No.
It's just one of those things. I'm not gonna play the game like that, you know.
It's for the better.
Exactly. It's for the betterment of all. I can be that shining example of what not to be.
Yeah.
Right.
Got to have one to have the other.
Exactly.
Well, it's like we say in the radio show all the time. You know, we can't be used for much, but we can always be used as a bad example.
There you go. There you go.
I got that on lock.
Hey, every show I say that Lou's the uncle that everybody has that always acting up. That's Uncle Lou.
Crazy Uncle Lou.
Yep, that's him.
Infecting that clean state of North Carolina with those Uniondale values and views.
Exactly.
That's cool.
I admit it. I use the word retarded.
Excited. Oh, that's great.
Hey, Dan, do you have any other cars or motorcycles you run with?
I have my tow truck, but I have a 03 Subaru WRX that I drive around as a daily driver.
Yeah.
And I have another shell that I need to put another motor into.
What kind of
Took
shell
the
is
motor
it?
out of it. It's a 240. It's fully caged, gutted. That was the first one that we did that wiring harness in.
Yeah.
So now that's become a project. I need to fix it and sell it. Pretty much.
In the way, right?
Yeah. To fund the other stuff that I'm doing.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
the real car that I have, my Formula D car, is a 1989 Nissan 240 Coupe. So I posted a picture of it earlier. I don't know if you guys got to see it, but
Dude, you don't have any sponsors?
no, I do. It's in the drifting world. It's really, really hard to get monetary sponsorship. So I can get parts all day long, and that's not a problem. It's just the monetary sponsorship. And so I've self-funded myself for 2 seasons, and now I'm broke. So it's pretty awesome.
Wow.
I hear you, bro.
Yeah.
It's a grind. I mean, we're all trying to figure it out.
It's tough.
Sounds like we're all
It's
in the
super
same
tough.
club.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
it's weird.
I mean, I would have thought, you know, that you would be able to get sponsors because I mean it's on TV now, and you know what I mean.
It is. It's on TV, but drifting is such a strange thing, especially competitive drifting, because drifting really wants to be NASCAR, but drifting is more like figure skating.
I got you. I see what you're saying.
Yeah, it's a difficult thing. So drifting thinks it's really grown up and big, when in reality it's still cars sliding around.
See, now they'd be drifting more like roller derby.
It is. It's more of a show. You want to people want to see crashes, and the nice part about drifting from a fan or a spectator standpoint is that you can see the whole track. Like it's 45 seconds at the max. Everything's right in front of you, and it's back to back to back to back to back to back. Even when there's wrecks, it only takes a few minutes to clear it off the track.
Right.
So it's super, super nice from a spectator standpoint to watch.
Yeah.
And it's exciting, and it's a lifestyle thing. So people want their cars to look like drift cars, even if they don't take them to the track and drift them. So it's a style thing too. So it's more like BMX or skateboarding than it is kind of motorsports.
You should drive on the roads in Nassau County in Long Island. I think every other kid thinks he has a drift car.
Well, you see those videos all the time of people flying off cliffs.
Yeah, no kidding.
Crashing into each other.
Well,
which is why there's so many sanctioned people that do drifting at tracks all across the United States, is to try to keep that from happening.
Keep them safe. I like the ones where they run into poles in a parking lot.
Oh, it's great. They're sliding around. There's no way he's going to hit that pole. There's no way. And then he hits the pole straight on. You're like, how did you even? Why?
I need to go in. I'm clearly missing some stuff.
Oh my God, there's some great ones.
You are, Lou. There's guys ripping the whole front end of their cars off.
Oh yeah, and they're going like 10 miles an hour. This is great.
Oh my God. I got the drift car though. I got it. I just figured it out.
What?
A Volkswagen Bug with a Subaru motor in it. It's rear-wheel drive. It's got some chops. You can cut the beam up, lower it. Oh yeah, I got it.
There was There was a picture on the internet that was taken from Forza or one of the video games. It looked real, and it looked like a beetle was drifting, and everybody freaked out about it because it's like, oh my god, a beetle's drifting. So it would gain traction. That's for damn sure.
Yeah, that's where I'm going.
You can make it happen. That would be amazing.
Happen.
Yeah.
Actually, the deal would be like the 84 Vanagons. They were real square, like 83, 84. You can do a Subaru motor in those with no problem.
That's right.
Yeah.
That would be the one. That would be the one to do.
You got plenty of room for activities.
Do the Vanagon with the Subaru motor in it. Twin turbo it. Woo!
Oh, that'd be great.
Well, there's your tires, Lou. You done blew the tires out right there.
Yep. And then you got to, because it's a van, the handbrake would be like up here. You have to have it up here like this. You'd have to put a shifter knob on it, so you'd have to see the shifter knob through the windshield. So you're doing the
boom. I like that. That's stylish.
Telling you, man, that's the Vanagon.
I like that.
Started something.
I like that.
Okay, do that here and take it to Albuquerque and go learn how to drive it.
Let's do it, man. We got full access to the track. I'm in. Sign me up.
It'd be huge comedy.
Be like, oh, it just rolled 13 times. It was too top heavy.
I don't think it would roll. I think it would just fall over and slide.
No, because you built the thing like 3 inches off the ground, and it'll be
That's
fine.
true.
It's square.
That's true.
You put the cage in it.
Lou's all about lowering it.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm all about that life too.
Dude, if it ain't low, it ain't no good.
He's already fitting into the drift lifestyle right there.
Dude. This Camaro I got in my shop, Dan, it's a 69 convertible Camaro. The top of the door, all right? The top of the door is 33 inches off the ground.
Wow.
All right. Had to get a visual reference there. All right.
In the transmission tunnel, has the drive shaft, the exhaust, and I put a torque arm on it. All of it lives in the transmission tunnel.
Wow. Oh man.
Yeah, I jammed it all up in there, man. The transmission tunnel is about a good 4 inches from the bottom of the dashboard.
Lou, that's the Holland tunnel. That's not the transmission tunnel. You know what I'm saying?
So if you try to lean over and kiss your girlfriend, you have to go up first and across.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
If she's not careful, she'll fall right in.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, man. So I just built a Vanagon like that, man. Put that thing in the dirt and be done with it, And then of course you have to do the roll cage, so you have two main hoops because you have to have that bench seat in the back.
Mm-hmm.
You got to have the bench seat in the middle because you just got to have people back there riding. They're your ballast, so you can put 4 in there.
That's true, guys.
Hey, that's our show in cinema next year.
we take it and have Dan chase us in the cop car.
There you go, man. Perfect.
We start something out there quick.
They wouldn't know what to do if that thing shows up, man.
They're like, are they authorized to be out there? Yeah, talk to Uncle Lou.
They wouldn't know what to do. Yeah, I'm gonna have to find it. That's gonna have to be a school project, guys. This is gonna have to be.
Sounds good.
That'll be out of control.
I think so. I think that would be absolutely outstanding.
Lou, did you get your lab coat yet?
No, I gotta get one, man. I gotta get one.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get a lab coat. This is Dr. Professor Lou on it.
There you go.
What diamond, Lou?
I like Dr. Professor better.
That. All right.
I like that better. I gave myself a PhD, right?
Oh, good.
Sweet.
on my email signature it says PhD KIR.
Uh-huh.
And it's keeping it real. That's what KIR is. I sent an email to my doctor, and she's a really nice lady. She calls me up one day and she's like, Miss Santiago, I need to step my game up. I did not know that you had a PhD. I'm like, oh yeah, I've had it for a long time. And she goes, what's your PhD in? I said, keeping it real. I thought she was gonna hang up. The phone line got
Full face palm. Oh god.
You got to change your medication.
Yeah.
Have you ever noticed on my business card, Lou, that it says airport investigator?
No, I didn't.
Well, I'm sure you'll be affecting and afflicting young minds for years to come, Lou.
Yeah.
That's a good thing.
Yes, it is. Something to aspire to.
Hey, you gotta aim high, man. You gotta aim high.
Yeah. If you don't, you shoot yourself in the foot.
Exactly. Yeah, it's just, you gotta keep them occupied. You gotta do what you gotta do. That's one of them things. But it'll be fun, no matter what. You go laughing. That's all that matters.
Amen to that.
So
when do you start school, Lou?
My first day is January 4th. That's the first day at school, and I got to get everything set up. And then the actual first teaching day is, I believe, the 11th of January.
Now, are you going to catch the place on fire the first day, or are you going to wait a week?
I might wait 2 days before we really.
2 days is a good solid waiting period for fire.
Because I got to do some actual class time, and then we play with fire, and then it'll be then we get started. Yeah, crank up the plasma cutter. Have some fun.
Yes. My favorite tool.
I'm telling you, man, I can't cut straight with a hacksaw or anything, but a plasma cutter. I'll draw you a line straight as an arrow.
It's the manly noise that makes it go straight.
Oh yeah,
everything, man. It's out of control.
With this class, is it going to entail shop practices like that as well as theory, or what's the curriculum like?
Well, it's what I want. The way I'm envisioning it is I wanted my first 2 days. I want to explain what we're going to do, safety and all that stuff, and then I want to take them out there and start tearing stuff apart, because just from my own experience and the people that I know, most guys that are into this, they're not book guys. They got, they can take it apart. They can put it together. They may not know what the parts are, but they can get there. You know what I mean? Yeah. And what I feel what I need to do is I need to weed out who the guys are who know what it is, but may not necessarily know how to do it properly, and who the guys are who know it from a book. Because you need to get that book guy to a point where he can do it and be competent enough to do it. Because, and I've said this before, just because you can pass a test for ASE doesn't mean that it makes you a good mechanic.
No. Right.
You know what I mean? I know tons of guys who can pass a test, but they're not worth a damn as a mechanic. And I can't pass a test, but I've been spinning wrenches my whole life. Right. And I build cars now because of it. So what I need to do is I need to try and get both of those guys to meet in the middle. The guy who can't take a test and the guy who can take a test. I need to get them to meet in the middle, because I really believe that they can help each other.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? I really believe that, because the guy who can tear something apart and put it back together and make it work, he may not be able to read worth a damn. He may not be able to read, period. Yeah, who knows why, but he's good. He's good at it, and that guy who can do a test can help him out. And the guy who's good with his hands, he can teach him how to do the stuff right. Because you gotta think on your feet, man. When you start building stuff and tearing stuff apart, like your drift car, Dan. I mean, I'm sure you came across stuff that was like, okay, we got to make this work in order to do what we need to do, and you got to figure it out, because there's no book.
We started with this. Well, that was one hell of a link. And it went to the wrong place anyway. So I'm gonna let me strike that, reverse it. There we go. Let's use the internet here. I'm interneting, and that one's broken link. But am I What is happening here? Back to safety. All right. Well, I guess I'm not. It was the shell that we started with on the back of a truck.
but still, you know what I mean. You really, there's times when you just got to really think on your feet. You know, you're looking at it going, okay, nobody makes anything for this. How are we going to get there? And that's where some of those guys really shine. And then you have other guys that they can't do it because they've either never been taught, they don't have the ability, whatever. You know, because I mean, think about this, guys. They have classes now in college. Critical thinking.
Yeah.
Problem solving. Dude, I've been problem solving my whole fucking life.
Yeah, when you're broke and you got a raggedy car in the driveway, you got to solve that problem.
Exactly.
Yep.
I mean, you know, I get people bring me stuff. I mean, I want to put these tires underneath here. Okay. Well, okay, no problem. Let's do this. But that's what you got to do, man. I mean, it's just what you got to do. So there it is.
All right.
Measure 5 times, cut once.
Dan, when I work with groups like that, I like to separate the group, figure out, like you said, who are the thinkers, who are the doers, and then you made them together. You make a thinker work with a doer. You make them You make them work together.
Right.
And they got to learn teamwork. They got to learn team building. And I'm sure your Navy skills will come in handy with that too.
No, they won't.
All right.
Well, if you fall in the water, it will.
But the first projects that we're going to do, I have 2 S10 pickups, and we're going to rebuild the front ends. We'll put drop spindles on them, lower them, do all that, and then in the rear they take the beds off, and then one of them is going to do a triangulated 4-bar, the other one's going to do a torque arm.
Okay.
And the wheels and tires that I have, they have to narrow the rear ends. There's no way around it. So I'm going to bring in a 9-inch Ford and a 12-bolt Chevy truck rear end and show them how to narrow a rear end. I have the fixture, so it's not, you know, I mean, I can do it. So, and I'll show them how I do it, because I actually have a cheat sheet, and it tells you step by step what to do. This way I know I don't make a mistake, but it's kind of like a math problem. You know what I mean? And it literally says, you know, original flange length, subtract, you know, flange length needed. And then that's your number. That's how much you take out. And then that moves down to the next line. You know, the answer to 1 divide by 2. And you know what I mean? And you go through the whole step. And for me, in my head, that's the way I do it, so I don't screw it up. You know, and it just, and that's, I'm going to show them stuff like that. You know, it may not work for them, but they need to come up with a method that they can do that's idiot proof.
Yeah, you know, I want to say something about that. My dad was in construction, and he couldn't read, write, but he would tell me to measure something like retarded. I'm like, that's not going to work. He goes, do what I tell you, and I would do it, man, and it'd be right on the money every time.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, and you know, the thing is people, well, not everybody, but a lot of your academics, they don't understand that because they only know how to do stuff from a book. But nothing I do is book sense. Everything I do is custom. You know what I mean? I mean, you know, I tell people all the time, if you want me to build you a car, I want your wheels and tires, because I'm going to build it to fit those wheels and tires. It's just that simple. And that's what people have a hard time wrapping their head around if they're book people. You know,
it's all based in book knowledge, though. It all is. You're just taking it to the practical level. And, you know, a lot of guys don't understand that. But, you know, and I've been in engineering and working with engineers pretty much all my working career. And a lot of these guys are brilliant, but I wouldn't dare hand them a screwdriver without having, like, you know, without having a medical kit nearby.
Right.
You know,
exactly.
Scary.
And I can make that that chassis is cool. We can do something with that.
Yeah, see, that's what we started with, and it was just blank. That was right after we got it bead blasted.
Yeah, that's cool. That's way cool.
So just slice the front off, slice the back off, and make everything else.
Yeah, see, and see, there's a lot of work involved in that, and then being able to make that do what you want it to do. You know what I mean? That to me is more impressive than anything else. You know, Stavola Brothers is a race shop. They used to race, I think in the 80s, but they're not in racing anymore. But the shop is still there, and it was two brothers that own it. The shop still has equipment in it. It's crazy. But I rented one of the buildings when I first left Muscle Car, and I remember I had a frame on my chassis table. It's a 78 short bed truck. It's just a frame, 117-inch wheelbase, 5 inches off the ground. And UNC Charlotte, the guy who runs the automotive division, came down because they were looking for some space to rent. And this guy's got a freaking doctorate, you know, and he's looking at my chassis and he goes, "Who built this?" And I said, "I did." And he goes, "Oh, what program did you use?" And I'm like, "Program? What are you talking about?" And he looked at me and goes, "Mastercam, AutoCAD?" Like, no, used it all out of my head, man.
None of the above.
I learned it on Muscle Car TV.
Yeah.
You know, did it all. Came out of my head. I know.
Went down the street straight.
Yeah, I mean, you know, and because for me, the way I see it is as long as you know how wide it needs to be, how long it needs to be, you can make it fit because you know the box you got to play in. That's how I look at it.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, and maybe that's oversimplifying it, but that's really how I look at it.
No, that's how it is.
No, I think every complex problem has to be broken down into the basics. You got to look at it with a fresh head and make it easier, not harder. You know,
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Because I mean, when you think about it, every car you build, you have to compromise to get where you want to go.
Amen to that.
But you know what I mean? You have to. You want to take this big engine and shoehorn it in this car. Okay, well, it didn't come with that, but we got to make it fit because that's what we have. So that's what you do. You figure out how to make it work, and you figure out how to make it work properly.
Or you take 2 years of trying to do it and still don't get it right.
Dan, you better watch out. She might beat you up.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, we get questions like that all the time on the radio show. People are confused. They know what they want, but they don't know what they have to do. And then you try and get them on a clear path to make a decision and say, well, decide what you want, and then we'll figure out how to get you there.
Exactly.
And, you know, it's hard for them to do that.
But that's the thing, is that most people don't even know where they need to be in the first place.
Yeah, right.
Right.
That's a tough one.
Because what happens is they've got 10 of their friends in their head. No, do this. Well, I did this and I did that.
Put this motor in this transmission. Right. You need to have these wheels, and this needs to be like this.
And the bad part is collectively, they've probably never built a car.
No.
You know what I mean? So when you get that one guy who branches out and does something that the pack isn't doing, you know, he's in the deep end of the pool and he really doesn't have any help. Because, you know, 9 out of 10 times his friends have never done anything like that. So, that's where you gotta straighten the guy out. You got to get him lined up. You got to get him to figure out what he wants to do. And that's, I tell people, if you want me to build you a car, we got to play 20 questions. It's that simple. Because I need to know what you want. Because the way I look at it, and I tell people this and they think I'm nuts. The way I look at it is I am a plastic surgeon for your ego. That's what I am. You come to me for whatever reason you come to me, 9 out of 10 times, it's because you no longer have the biggest dick in the parking lot. I don't care what kind of car you want. Your car isn't as cool as your friend's car now. So you're coming to me because your ego is damaged and your car ain't cool anymore. That's why you come to me.
Yep.
You know? I mean, why in the hell else would anyone want to come to me and have them build them a car that's 4 inches off the ground and nothing hangs down below the pinch welds? It's a lot of work, you know, and I love doing it. But the average guy doesn't even know what that is. No. But yet he's going to come here and tell me, oh, I got to have this. Okay.
Sure you do.
You know what I mean? Why do you? I don't ask him why he needs it. I know why he needs it. I know why. Do you need 1,000 horsepower on the street? Fuck no. But do you want it? Hell yes.
You never know who's going to pull up next to you.
Exactly. You know what I mean? That's why you come see me. So I'm a plastic surgeon. I'm a doctor.
That makes sense.
That's why I'm Dr. Professor Lou.
He's modified.
But I mean, really, think about it, man. That's why you do it, I mean, dude, if I build a drift car, do I really need to build an 84 van again? No. Is it really uncommon when everyone recognizes it?
Yes.
Damn straight.
Especially when you're coming down the street sideways.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Exactly.
Groceries
That's
falling
funny
out the back.
Everybody that asks me, hey, how do I get into drifting? Normally, I'm like, get the cheapest thing. Get a 240 because all the parts are available. Your cookie cutter. Nothing's going to break. If you break it, you can replace it. And he's over here like, I want to build a van. And I'm like, as long as you can find spare parts because everything breaks a lot.
But I mean, really, think about it. Yeah, I could do a 240. Why?
Yeah, exactly. If you have a way in a million, by all means, do something crazy. That's I'm all about that. But when people are like, I have like $700 and I want to start drifting, I'm like, oh, well, 240 is really your only choice, and probably one without a motor.
I mean, I got a '68 Chevy van in my yard right now. Hey, it's a candidate. Make it mid-engine.
They drift vans in Japan. They have a whole series for vans in Japan.
Really?
Yeah. I don't think they're that old. Let me see if I remember this.
Hey, listen,
they wouldn't know what to do if you shit that thing over there because their vans, I could put 2 of them in mine.
Listen, Lou has me thinking a whole different way now. We seen these trucks out at SEMA, and now I really want one. And Lou's like, "Oh, we're gonna build one." I'm like, now I'm looking in backyards, and all day I'm driving around looking at these trucks. I'm like, man, I'm gonna get that truck. I think. Yeah. And he got me looking under weeds and everything.
I'm telling you, that's it.
So one of these blabs is going to be me down there with my truck trying to cut the back off.
There you go. I got a plasma cutter. I'm telling you, it's not a problem.
No, we can make this happen.
Make it happen.
Nope, did that one not show up either?
Make it
does
happen.
not like some of these links.
There's a program that you send the link to it and then it converts it, I guess, pictures. Little Lou Jr., he's that guy, so he's sick.
Yeah. So
we got to dock his pay.
He's on track today, so we're really screwed.
We got to dock his pay.
We're left to our own vices, and now it's getting ugly.
Let's see if this one works.
Hey, Lou, we got 10 people still in the chat room.
Oh, we got what?
We got 10 people in the chat room.
Oh, cool. That's a full-size van, guys.
Yeah, that's big.
Oh, wait. I missed it.
Yeah.
That looks like a Dodge.
It is.
It is.
Oh,
It's a Dodge. It's a full-size Dodge, yeah.
They drift. I had one of them in high school.
Yeah, that's what a lot of people say.
Yeah.
Not low like that, but I had a Dodge.
Look at this 69 Chevy van. That's what you got to look up, Dan. I got one of them. Yeah, mine's a panel. It's a complete panel.
Was it like a C10 or a C30?
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
That's like Mystery Machine style.
Yeah.
Can you put it in the chat?
Not seeing it.
Let's see if I can actually link one.
Yeah, that's a pretty new van. That's like
That's mid-'80s.
Yeah, for sure.
That's mid-'80s, maybe.
No, I think it's newer. It's newer than that because I had an '83.
Nope, that one didn't work
it's
either.
got the plastic. Yeah, it's got the plastic headlights, so it's probably early '90s.
Yeah,
because it's got the plastic headlights. Yeah, it does it uses the bulb.
No,
It's probably early '90s.
Yeah, I would think so. Yeah.
And it's got
Well,
that.
found an off-road one.
Oh, an off-road van? That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah,
I'm liking the drifting idea, though, man. I'm telling you.
it's a good one. Oh, well, that's 3 for 3. Like, nope, not going to show that. Yeah, but those are great looking vans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually have one of those that's pro-streeted.
What is it? What van is it?
It's a 68, 69 Chevy van. And Junior has the pictures of it. But what happened was I knew I would never finish it because it's been sitting like 20 years. I gave it to my tow truck guy.
Ooh.
And I told him, I said, look, man, if you ever get rid of it, something ever happens, just make sure it comes back. That's all I'm asking. But yeah.
There we go. Got
There
one.
it is. Huh?
Yeah.
How about
Biggest picture ever.
How about that? And mine's a panel like that too. That's the long wheelbase one.
Yeah, I like the short one. I saw that. Be like,
Mine's a short wheelbase. Dude, could you imagine that? 3 inches off the ground, right?
Yeah.
Sliding.
the internet would go absolutely nuts over that.
You do it, make it mid-engine because it'd be easy to do. Because the engine's right between the seats. So you move it right, you put it mid-engine so you got perfect weight distribution. Woo!
Yeah, I like that.
I would even go as far as to get custom mirrors made and have the little arrows for the directionals in it.
I'm going to be drifting this way now.
Little biker dude in the chat room was talking about his 70s van. And I tell you,
crushed velvet interior.
at the Belmore cruise night, at the Belmore train station on Friday nights in the summer, I started seeing the custom vans coming back. Guys are taking the old vans out of the yard, sending them to the body shop, redoing the interiors, new Craigers, and they're coming back on the cruise scene here.
Yeah.
It's cool.
You remember Janoff's in Hempstead? It was a body shop in Hempstead named Janoff's. It was by the TSS store, and there was a fucking parts store there. It was right there by Franklin. They had a van like this, and it was wedge cut.
Okay.
It was wedge cut. Hey, Raymond, how you doing, man?
What's up, man?
What's happening, Ray?
I always wondered why the van craze never came back.
It is. It is now, man. Right here in New York, it is.
Is that?
There we go.
I mean, it was a lot of really cool vans. I mean, they used to. I mean, even Elvis Presley. I don't know if I've ever seen some of his vans, but even Elvis Presley had some really cool vans.
Yeah, man, dude, they're cool.
Yeah,
they're cool. But I'm telling you, I'm thinking about doing my 68 as a drifter. I think it'd be bitching. I think it would be way cool.
That would be different.
I gotta have projects for school, man. So I might as well,
That's a good one. That will keep people interested for the end prize.
That would. I think so.
Well, you get
The first donuts that thing does are going to be stupendous.
You get the students to bring in their own vehicles, Lou. This way you have a never-ending supply of raw material.
You know what? I was when I went over there and did the dime tour, I decided that that's not the way to go because they had about a dozen cars there, and probably 8 of them were stalled waiting for parts and materials and all that, and they had been sitting a while, and so everybody's huddled around one car, and I don't want that. I don't want. You know what I mean? Because in order to do and teach what I want to teach, we're going to be making stuff and we're going to be cutting stuff up, man.
Yeah.
I also want to make 12 English wheels, and I want to make 12 planishing hammers.
Yeah.
And then get a hold of someone like Ron Covell and see if he'll come in and do like a Thursday, Friday class with the students. And then Saturday, Sunday will be the class where, you pay like $200 to get in and you're there for the 2 days and he teaches a class like that and get the school to pay him some cash, do something like that. And then if someone wants to buy an English wheel, you sell them one at a 12.
Okay.
And then we just replace the one with another one. We just build a new one. So we always have 12. And we get guys like that, man. We get guys like Covell and Faye Butler and Lassie. You know, I mean, why not, man? I mean, I'm sure some of those guys would come because you're teaching that next generation, you know? And I'm not a sheet metal guy. I've never had the opportunity to really play with it like that, and I'd love to, because I mean, I think it's great, you know.
Well, the bummer part is all these new cars coming out are all freaking plastic.
Yeah, but the thing with that is, Ray, is you know, there's guys doing this stuff, man, and you know, they're coming out with more bodies. Dynacorn is releasing the they just released, I should say, the 66, 67 Chevy 2. They just passed a thing through Congress where a company can do up to 250 cars a year from the Dynacorn bodies and Real Deal Steel and Dennis Carpenter's got the 40. You know, there's a lot of guys that they're saying you can do 250 without having to have, you know, all the crazy stuff like, you know, that manufacturers like GM would have. So there's going to be guys doing it, you know, and you've got Brookville doing the Roadsters and the 3-window coupes. United Pacific is doing the 32.5 window coupe. American Speed is doing that convertible 33 Roadster. I mean, there's tons of steel bodies out there. So there's still a need, you know. So that's what I want to fill. So
yeah,
go from there. So we good with that? We cool? We all cool?
Absolutely. Yeah.
I'm more of a bike guy. I mean, I have cars, but I don't know. I can fit more bikes in my garage than I can cars.
Well, we gotta bring back the chopper craze too.
Yeah.
70s long bikes. Come on.
Yeah, that kind of went out.
It did.
Yeah.
Well, one of the things I'm gonna do is I have access to 4 laser cutters, and the guy that I deal with that I send my emails to get brackets cut, he builds cars too. He actually has a frame fixture, and he's got everything. He can cut everything for me, and I'm gonna do a couple of bikes too, because someone's gonna want to do it.
Yeah.
So I figured, what the hell? I'll build 2 fixtures, and we build a couple of frames. Why not? So I'm gonna do that too, man. Gotta do a little bit of everything. Because, dude, I learned. Ray, you'll appreciate this, Raymond. I learned how to ride on an old Harley that was jockey shift, foot clutch, and it was a chopper.
Yeah. Those are the good bikes. I mean, the stuff they make nowadays are.
Well, you know, everything's the same now, man.
Yeah.
You know, they're the same. It's sad. It really is. Dan, what did you post here?
Oh, that's a whole thread of vans, modified vans.
Oh, I'm going to jump back in the chat and listen to you guys.
All right, Raymond.
Later, guys.
Later.
All right.
So is this... Oh, these are the guys in Japan?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
I told you, man, it's a whole thing. If this could catch on in the United States, that'd be great.
Well, we can make it happen, Dan.
That's true.
I mean, geez.
Some of these things are pretty stylish too.
I gotta write this. I gotta write this down. Genmay.com. I gotta look into this a little bit heavier.
Yeah, that's a good one to do.
These guys might be in for more than they can handle.
So about the vans.
That's gonna be really cool. Thanks, Raymond, for coming on, man. I appreciate that. Not you, Ray, the other one, you know, the bike guy, Raymond. Damn. And they're all Dodges. I wonder why they, I mean, maybe they just, I don't know. That's kind of weird that they're just using Dodges in all those pictures.
I'm assuming it's because it's Japan and they're just like, well, What's the most American thing we can modify? Well, it's this
Well,
van.
but I mean, you had Chevy vans and all that then too. So
Yeah.
I'm wondering why so many Dodges. I mean, I wonder if it was just they were cheap or they were the ex-military. I don't know.
I could see if they were the tradesmen's, because those were like, more of a professional type of delivery truck.
Right. I'm kind of baffled by why they chose that van. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I was going to
man.
say as delivery vans, they probably have a lot of them over there.
Yeah, that could be.
Yeah.
Put them on the show and ask them. Let's get them on, man.
Well, Raymond is saying it because they were easy to customize.
It could be.
Well, what's
could
different from a Ford or a Chevy that makes a Dodge different?
I don't know.
Big box.
I'm just curious because in every picture they had like 5 of them.
Yeah, and it could be because somebody posted in here that it's because they don't have a lot of the other full-size American vans. I think Dodge may have been the only one that did the full-size vans.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know. That's pretty crazy though. It's cool.
Yeah, I love it. And they had there's videos of it somewhere. I know I've seen videos of them all drifting together on a track in the wet, and it's the most fantastic thing that I've seen in a long time. I cannot find it though.
Well, it said Raymond said that Sears has tons of custom stuff for Dodge.
Had.
Didn't know that.
Well, back then, Sears, like you said before, Times Square store, TSS, Corvettes. I mean, everybody who was selling car stuff was in the van craze at one point or another.
Yeah.
Western.
Mm-hmm.
Got to do a van. I'm just gonna have to do a van.
I think you have to do a van because Chris Forsberg did a 4-door Lexus so that he could take 4 or 3 other people with him. So that was pretty cool. But a van would be.
Yeah. I'd have to get one with windows though.
Oh yeah.
Porthole.
Yeah, that just needs to be a hole. It doesn't need to be a window.
Yeah.
You gotta let the smoke out.
Just leave the tub wheels open. Just let the smoke fill
Wait
up.
a minute. Starting to sound like Cheech and Chong right now.
Yeah.
That would
let the smoke out.
Yeah, you got to put a plexiglass right behind the seat, and then the rest is all open.
That would be crazy, man. I gotta look into this now. Oh my God, I gotta look into this. Jesus, I can do a chassis. That'd be no problem.
I like 426 Hemi van. That's cool.
Yeah. I gotta look into this. I just gotta do it. I mean,
You better do it before Gas Monkey does.
Yeah.
Fuck Gas Monkey.
Yeah, Hot Wheels Corvette they just built.
I ain't worried about, man. I'm telling you.
We are still recording.
We are live.
So
They do. You can't make a lot of smoke. That's for sure.
Yeah.
that'd be cool, man. Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Do some like 1812s in the back, 1810s in the front. That'd be cool, man.
Just get an old school body and then a new gen Hemi. Get the new one.
Yeah. Yeah, or do it or do an LS motor in it.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Yeah.
That's what everybody else does. Those are the go-to.
They're bulletproof. I mean, you can.
Yeah.
That was my main problem. Is the motor that I chose the RB out of a Skyline, and it just bit me in the ass the whole 2 years I ran Formula D.
Mhm.
Can't buy parts from AutoZone, that's for sure.
Yeah, you gotta do an LS, man.
Yep.
And you could do a 5.3. There's millions of them now in the junkyards. You can get probably about 600, 700 horse out of it, pretty reliable.
Oh, easy.
See, we made 790, I think was the most we made. We never really turned it up because my drivetrain couldn't handle it. But we made 790 on the Skyline motor, but we only had that for 4 events before it exploded.
Mhm. You couldn't take the beating.
Do most guys use automatics or sticks?
No, it's you can't use an automatic. It's in the rule book.
Oh, really?
The rule book's pretty crazy for Formula D. You have to have a dash, so you have to have a factory dash. They want them to look like street cars from the outside minus the liveries and all the crazy graphics. They want them to look like street cars. They have to have all the body panels on them. You can't. How my car was cut in that first picture that I sent was the most you can cut off the car. You can't cut anything from strut towers back and in front and rear, but forward of those you can cut off.
Right.
Need to do. So no tube chassis. You have to retain the firewall. Can't change in any way, shape, or form. Transmission tunnel can be slightly modified for starter, and that's it.
Wow.
All of the suspension pickup points have to remain factory, including subframe heights, and they get pretty crazy with it. I think my subframe was 2 millimeters off, and I had to go put washers in when I ran through tech. They're pretty.
And that's the reason,
crazy about their tech.
That's the reason why they're not moving up to the NASCAR status.
I think it's for the very reason why my car is still allowed in Formula D. So manufacturers don't want to get involved because you take your 2016 Mustang and it gets beat by a 1989 Nissan. The manufacturers don't want to see that.
Yeah, yeah, that makes sense.
Right. But you know what? Though? There's got to be an unlimited class, right? There's got to be.
Well, it's all unlimited. I mean, other than those specific rules, it's all unlimited. You can use whatever motor you want, whatever transmission you want, whatever rear end you want, as long as you can get it to fit within those other guidelines.
We've got to figure out a way to get a van in there, man. Because the van,
okay, as long as if it's a unibody, it can go. Because they had a what did they have? Some weird car. I don't know if it was an Aztec or a
Walter White.
Yeah, I don't think it was the Walter White one. It was the other plastic one, Element. They had an Element.
Oh, the Element.
Honda tried to get involved and put an Element in Formula D, and it lasted a season and did horribly.
All right, listen, we're going to build one and let you drive it.
Let's do it.
I mean, dude, look at the billboard.
The real estate is unreal.
We would have to get some sponsors for some. We would have to. Dude,
you guys get an 8-foot by 10
That's what I'm saying, man. We got like a whole state's worth of real estate there, man.
Yeah. Like, hey, you guys get a fender or a side skirt or a door.
Look at the signage.
Like, no, you get a full billboard.
If you want to downsize, you can always go with a cube.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, it'll be good for something at least.
Yeah, dude. Now, we got. Oh, yeah, we got.
That'd be great.
We got enough time for SEMA too.
Yeah, no joke.
We gotta look into
you talk about building something different for SEMA.
Oh my God. We got to build. Man, I got to look into this. I got to. The only downside is it's a straight axle, and I would have to build a chassis for it.
Yeah. So I mean, Mustangs up to 2014 in Formula D have all been straight axles, so it works. It's just you don't quite have the advantage. Yeah, it's very sneaky.
Was he in his underwear?
May
or may not have been.
Yeah, because see that those vans are subframe cars. The 68 is a subframe, and it's got a straight axle. So I mean, and I could build a front end for it.
Well, how does the straight axle perform in a drift car? I mean, that seems counterintuitive.
The big things. So the main times when a solid axle is less advantageous, it's great for the drag race because drifting is basically a drag race with the prize at the end. They're great for that. So the Mustang guys will always pull on you no matter what. Mm-hmm. Banked tracks or tracks where it's a flat to bank transition like this, if you have a straight axle car and you get one of the wheels up onto the bank, it's going to want to spin you out.
No, I mean straight axle in the front.
That's what I'm
in the front.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
There are no straight axle in the front, I believe. I think everything's independent.
We have to figure out if they're going to let us do a front end. Because I can build a chassis for it with independent front suspension. Hell,
a subframe with A-frames.
Well, but see, the problem, you'd have to cut the floor up. There's not enough.
Yeah.
I can email you over the rule book, and you can kind of go over it and see what you can and can't get around. But you don't have to build it for that. I mean, you can build it for whatever you want. Formula D is very, very picky about what they have in there.
So whatever we want then.
Yeah, that's way more fun.
Well, make an exhibition van. That's all.
Yeah, exactly. Do demos with it. Do whatever you want. You can go all the way up to Pro-Am with whatever you want. It's once you get into Formula D, then the heavy rules start coming into play. Otherwise, it's completely open.
All right, then that's what we do. Because I'm thinking an Explorer rear end. You do the Explorer rear end because you can get them. You can get an independent rear. It's got an 8.8 in it, so it'll hold up to.
Yeah, it will.
Then we'll have 4-wheel drive independent. Four-wheel independent suspension. Bam.
I'm thinking it's ready to rock and roll.
I like it.
I'm thinking, and then we can do a TKO transmission. I'll just have to make a long shifter to come all the way up. It'll be a long. Oh yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah. So how's the success rate been with the TKOs?
I've had really good luck with them.
Uh-huh.
But I'm not. But see, the thing is I'm not putting them behind ridiculous power.
Right.
I mean,
so the TKOs are manual trans, or is it?
Yeah, it's a manual 5-speed. It's a manual 5-speed, and what I do is I get them from Bruce at Modern Driveline, and he sells brand new units. And when they get them, they put all the upgrades, all the carbon fiber sliders in them. They do all that right out of the box, and they hold up. They hold up. I mean, if you're going to put power behind it, you need to do a Richmond, which I heard is getting pretty hard because a few years ago Richmond got bought out by somebody, and I heard they're killing them. I heard they're going to let it die.
Yeah.
So
now I'm running a TKO in a Pontiac. And I was having an issue where it was everything was brand new, and I was getting tranny fluid leak on the ground, and I traced it like to the top, and I called them up, and they said, yeah, it's probably the vent, probably coming out of the vent. I said, give it a couple hundred miles, see if it equals itself out. It lessened up, but the tranny's nice. It shifts beautiful.
Yeah, they do shift good.
Yeah,
they're a good tranny. I mean, I like them. Now there's another one that I think it's the 6-speed. They're putting it in the newer Camaros. I heard that's a really good one too. But I don't remember. It's not the 56. It's not the 56. It was another one.
Yeah.
I don't remember. I just don't. It's not. I don't remember it. But now I actually have one. It's a Mustang transmission, and the bell housing doesn't divorce from the body.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna look into if I can make a plate. I'll cut the bell housing off, make a plate, and then I can bolt it up to a Chevy. Right. And it's not a ridiculously strong tranny, but for, like an everyday car, it'd be fine. So I'm going to start looking into that because I got 2 of them that came out of Rex, and they have one of them has less than 1,000 miles on it.
Wow!
So I want to use it.
Yeah.
I want to use it. Maybe we'll put it in the van.
Hell yeah!
Boom.
All right, well, guys, it is 10:50. I gotta roll out. So I'll see you guys next week. And Dan, thanks for coming by.
Hey, my pleasure. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
Hey, before we jump off, everybody, let the crowd know where to get a hold of you, like your email address, or not your email, your website, and who you are and everything before we jump off.
Dan, go.
Right. My website's www.danbrocketdrift.com. Pretty simple. Find me on Facebook, Dan Brockett. I think Officer Dan on Instagram, and that's about it.
I gotta go to Instagram and find Officer Dan.
Yeah, I think it's Officer_Dan.
Hey, before you get off, Raymond put the link to that video I was talking about with Dan.
Yeah.
Please, Lou, you got to go take a look at it, man. This video is incredible.
All right.
Yeah, check them out and check the sequels. We filmed the third one here in Albuquerque. We took over downtown and did all sorts of crazy stuff with the dune buggy and And then the fourth one, we had that 1,500 horsepower Mustang, so definitely check that one out.
Cool. Okay, Ray, tell us who you are and all that good stuff.
Yeah, Ray Guarino, co-host with Chris Switzer, MotorMouthRadio.com. There's the banner in the back.
I got no banners.
Yeah, well, you got curtains, though. You got curtains.
Yeah, I got curtains. I got no banners. I just got curtains.
We're live Thursdays and Sundays. Check out the October 15th show. You can hear Lou. It's on the download page on MotorMouthRadio.com, and we'll be getting together soon again, getting you back on there and having some more fun. And thanks, guys. I enjoyed coming on. It was great.
Thank you for coming. We appreciate it.
Maybe next time we'll actually have some. We were supposed to have some electrical questions for you, but Lou's sick, so guess what? We didn't have them.
I'm always available. You let me know when you need me. I'll be here.
Yeah. And I'm Lewis from All Ends Magazine, and you can see our magazine at allendsmag.com. And we appreciate everybody coming in tonight, and we do this every Wednesday night at 9 Eastern. So tell all your friends, tell all your people, come check us out. We answer questions and act a fool in traffic.
Because we play in traffic.
We play in traffic.
I do that a lot.
I'm Lou Santiago, host of Carfix on Velocity, but I also have a forum, GarageInsiderTV.com. Go check it out. There's all kinds of wacky stuff on there. I don't really advertise it, but it's slowly growing. But as a matter of fact, that Camaro I built is on there too in the Chevy car section. So, and I'm gonna go have another cup of coffee.
All right.
All right, guys. Appreciate it, and thanks for coming on. And
Later,
all right.
guys.
Thanks for having me.
Guys.
All right. Have a good night.
Bye bye.
Okay.